you check the children? Show a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes. That is what
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Howdy folks, welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Robert the Wolfman.
You got Jaime and Fuego here, and doing another patron review, catching up on some stuff, most notably of the Wolfman variety,
Yas.
because Seth T. Miller, this is kind of his motif, right?
Yep.
He's requesting these sort of films.
He's been sending in all the werewolf movies and everything for us to review, which is fun because there's some of them like I've skipped over and everything like that, and then it's like, all right, well, now I get to watch it and shit.
This is definitely one that I had skipped over.
Yep.
Hadn't even heard of until this. So it's got two different titles, right? I think Night Watch is one, or is it Night Wolf?
Night Wolf.
Night Wolf, yeah. Night Watch is the
13
vampire
hours.
movie I'm thinking. Yeah. So, all right, British film, incredibly low budge. Overall thoughts and stuff. Being the werewolf expert, I didn't even really feel like this was as much a werewolf movie as a something else kind of creature. What was your estimation?
Yeah, this like they played it off, as like it's a werewolf in the countryside kind of thing, but personally I feel like the execution was kind of lost. The effects of the wolf were
Once we finally got him.
pretty bad once we got to him. Like you could like I can at least appreciate the fact that they worked with their budget and put it towards like the effects and everything. Obviously you have to take into account for your location cost and your crew cost and things like that. So like the money gets divvied up pretty damn quick.
Yes.
Especially
Especially on a film as low budget as this one appears, at least.
Exactly.
You know?
And I can appreciate the fact that for the most part they did practical effects with this. I think there were I want to say there was a couple scenes that were CG stuff.
Little digital enhancement here and there, but
that much I can appreciate. Overall, it wasn't really the best movie. It was okay. I definitely wouldn't be revisiting this one really anytime soon.
Certainly not. At least not in my estimation. But
No.
yeah, so not a big recommend or anything. You know, not absolute trash. There is worse low budget stuff out there in my estimation, especially of the creaturey, werewolfy kind of adjacent variety. But I guess
Neo
so.
Wolf.
Yeah. I mean,
Neo Wolf was a horrible.
Haven't even heard of it. But
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I have noticed about Seth T. Miller, because we're friends on Facebook, is that I have seen that he appears a little less judgmental about these sort of movies than a lot of other people are. Those who aren't big werewolf or
that's
aficionados.
the thing though too. It's like to a degree you kind of have to. You take it for what it is. As long as it like.
Don't go in with expectations of anything.
Yeah, and that's kind of the hard thing, especially with werewolf movies, is doing them right. A lot of people want to do a werewolf movie, but they don't necessarily always take the time to do it right. And
I would say so few have done them right. But I mean, like three come to mind. Obviously, the big heavy hitters like Bad Moon and The Howling and Werewolf in London. But aside from that, it's a lot tougher to find any like real quality in the subgenre of horror.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So story with this is so you have an estranged daughter who is coming back. And she's visiting with her stepfather and her half-siblings, which is a trio of brothers, if I recall correctly. Yep. And so, coming from Los Angeles back to Britain, and you can tell that there's not friction with the father, but there's definitely a little bit from her brothers and also from, like, her best friend, essentially, back there. But, when she returns, she sees the father briefly, and then she goes and... Her half-siblings are partying. They've got some friends there, including none other than
Tom Felton.
Tom Felton. I'm trying to remember his character from Harry Potter. He was a Slytherin asshole little kid. Malfoy.
Yeah, Draco Malfoy.
Yeah. So he's in there. He's one of the friends, but they're all drinking whiskey, smoking, chilling, having a fun off time in the barn, and so she just gets reacclimated. You can tell that they're like, oh. Went to London, went to Los Angeles, left England, kind of don't care about your family, but, back for a visit sort of thing. Interestingly enough, the mother is conspicuously missing that evening because of the fact that she is, as our main girl, our final girl of sorts finds out, the mom is having an affair and the marriage might be ending, and so
allegedly.
And so that's caused some friction in the family as well. But Yeah, it ends up turning into a one location monster film of sorts when they get suddenly attacked. The stepfather first, if I remember correctly, is like the first victim, and then it just kind of goes from people getting picked off one by one and gets into that formulaic sort of business.
So with that, we'll jump into the acting.
Yeah.
Personally, I didn't see anybody that stood out over anybody in this film for acting.
Nothing awful.
It wasn't nothing really awful, but you can definitely tell that they were working within what they had. Because again,
as far as talent pool, and,
exactly, and also story too, because it's still kind of a thin story, even though they tried to layer all this, family drama and things like that, which does end up getting revealed towards the end. But at the same time, it's like it was written really weirdly.
Yeah.
Like there was some dynamics between like the stepbrother and the estranged sister, if you will.
We were talking about this off camera before we started. There's weird subtext between the half siblings and just the way they look at her sometimes and stuff, man. It's like
and
crushes
just
on
that
her.
over like spoiled brat, like British rich kid kind of thing. It's just it was too overplayed in that.
Oh, I hated that kid, man. He was just the friggin' worst, and they make him out to be the worst. So I guess he's living up to the way his character was written.
He did that part right. He was fucking annoying.
Yeah, and there's one scene in particular where in the midst of their friends getting killed, and like he's like trying to take the girl's clothes off, and she's like, "Get off me! What the hell is wrong with you, dude? He's such a scumbag, man." Yeah, he's pretty bad. And then there's a little subplot going on between the girl who's coming from LA, our main character, and she's dating one of the brothers, but she used to date another guy that they each liked or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it honestly doesn't help that besides Tom Felton looking drastically different, the other three, like the two other brothers and the other friend, like they all look very similar, and so I was getting some of them confused because it's so dimly shot. Because they're hiding out in these areas from this monster that's trying to attack them. They're up in like the attic type area, and then it becomes very formulaic in the fact that okay, let's go to this room and hide. Then someone gets killed. Let's go to this room and hide. And so it just didn't. It felt by the books, man, and just like just trying to get to the end of it in a lot of ways.
But other than that, like with acting, you didn't.
Acting, I did not mind our lead lady. I thought she was decent enough and brought at least a little bit of emotion. Everybody else was a little too one note for me. And then there's also a much younger brother who it kind of gets to the end of the movie with him being having something to do finally, because he's like drunk and passed out up in the loft of the barn at the beginning. So I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. And so. Characters picked off one by one. One note acting aside from our lead lady. I don't know. They're very deliberate in the fact that they're not really showing this creature in a lot of ways until the very end because they're saving their budget for the big reveal.
Well,
right?
Absolutely, but also too, it's one of those things like with certain monster movies, like if you show the creature too much, it's not effective anymore.
Yeah, it pulls away
and
the
you really
mystique.
You stop really
the whole Jaws syndrome.
Giving a shit a little bit. Other than that, like I think like we kind of touched on the effects.
Yeah.
I
did not like the look of the creature.
No,
once
not
we
at all.
got
No,
to it.
like
not into it.
Yeah, like the effects were for what they had. Like I said, I could appreciate the fact that they did prosthetics, but the execution just wasn't there.
There's that one scene with the accidental shotgun bit that I'd forgotten about till right this moment, which I found more satisfying than, because of the character who it was, I found that more satisfying than some of the creature kills, honestly.
That's true, actually. Yeah. That was actually probably the most satisfying kill of that whole movie.
Because of the context of the character, and it did, I don't know.
Deserved it.
Yeah, and then also the ending, man, because they almost leave it open for
the ending.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it, but they almost leave it open for a sequel.
Kind of.
Interestingly enough, I don't really know why. And then there's a reveal about who the creature is, which it's like you see in a mile away.
Absolutely.
Mile away.
Absolutely.
Man. So predictable by the numbers. I don't know, man. I guess we have kind of covered the predominance of it. Anything else you want to add in closing?
like the locations wasn't bad. It's
Yeah, it
you
was
know,
scouted well.
yeah,
You know,
it's-
I mean, the barn looked
It's
cool.
a nice,
but
pretty English countryside.
yeah, you
other-
you could tell they had money. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
At least at one point, but they speak of financial issues at one point in the film too because of the impending divorce and whatever. So I
Music
don't know.
didn't really do much with this.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing really stood out.
Nothing really good for me.
Other than that, yeah, it was. If I was gonna have to rate this out of a 5, I'd probably give it a 2.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man.
That's pretty much right. I'll be gracious and give it a 2.5.
Yeah. Nah, I'd stick with the 2, man.
That's fair.
Yeah,
You know, like I said,
yeah.
I'm being gracious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But other than that,
Not a recommend, unfortunately.
yeah. Other than that, I think that's pretty much gonna wrap up the review for Nightwolf, aka 13 Hours.
Yeah, Nightwolf is much better as a Mortal Kombat character. So anyway.
Fact. So other than
Right on.
that, guys, I think that's pretty much gonna do it for us. Thank you for being a patron.
Appreciate ya.
Absolutely, we love the hell out of you guys, and we couldn't do it without you. Well, we could, but we appreciate you guys being here more.
Yes,
So.
yes, indeed. Helps us keep the lights on, as we like to
Exactly.
say. So,
So
Right on.
other than that, from everyone here at the Horror Show, I've been Rob Wolfman,
gracias, Jaime. Fuego!
and remember, stay scared.